I feed off of living in the world today and in the past. I mean, I think about all of the stuff that influenced and inspired me. I'm always checking something out, I'm always seeing something, I'm always remembering something. And then I try to see how I can use that to incorporate that into the designs that I put into the Ebony Visions line. For 14 years, I was an illustrator, and a lot of the influences that inspired me were from the golden age of illustration, Art Nouveau and Art Deco, that style. Man, I incorporate that into almost everything I do. It's elegant and it's beautiful, and as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen an art style that surpasses that. So much so that I've coined the phrase Afro Nouveau for Ebony Visions. People look at it and they say, oh wow, why would you even do something like that? It's been done for centuries. All I did was just put a black face on it. The reason why I wanted to do the Obama piece was because something was happening in this country that had never been done before. This was a piece of history that was unfolding right before our eyes. Whoever thought that we would have a black president in our lifetime? I mean, and it's already happened. This is the first time I've actually done a real person. Ebony Visions was based on vision, my vision. But this was the first time that I had to do somebody that everybody knew. And so I had to make it look like him, I had to try to make it feel like him. I saw this one photograph of him where he was sitting down and his head was turned to the side and he had this look on his face that was perfect. And I said, that's the look I want. Here he is. This is the beginning of his presidency, and he's turned to the side and looking into the future like he's saying, you know, I'm ready for this. He had this thing he would do every time he stood. He would hold his hands. When he was real comfortable, he'd hold his hands like this in front of him. And I noticed that as I was looking through all the photographs. That's when I decided, okay, that's Obama, that's his pose. To do a piece like Obama for the Ebony Visions collector or whomever sees it, I think it would be wonderful for any of the collectors to have a piece of that history in their home. The Dude. The Dude is a piece that I think I was inspired by the movie Amistad, and the main character in the movie, he was wearing this vest from that period of time, and when I saw that I said, wow, that would make a good sculpture. So I just felt to come up with a sculpture that had that colonial look to it with that vest and the shirt and the kind of pants he was wearing, and I wanted him to have a really majestic look. He's standing there with a cane behind his back, and he's got this really confident look on his face, like, you know, I'm the dude. I had the chance to do my first porcelain piece for Linux, and it's called Instant into Glory. It was pretty exciting to be able to work on something like that. I have never done a piece in porcelain. Porcelain is a completely different medium in the fact that it feels different than working in resin. So I had a lot of the people at Linux who helped me with this and trying to do this piece. But one thing that I liked about the piece that's different than anything I did for the Ebony Visions line is I stylized this a little bit more than I usually do. Things were elongated a little bit. I had an exaggerated neck and stuff like that. It just added to the beauty of the piece. Being that Ebony Visions, you know, is depicting black individuals, okay, it's going to be a black nativity. But of course, it's got to be true to Ebony Vision, making sure that I've got a nice design in there, and I'm making sure that the clothing, a little African flavor to it, but you know, still that little Ebony Vision twist to it. That's when we did the Gabriel, I think came out pretty nice. Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. I like the design on that and the way that I laid them out. The Wise Men came out really nice. I really like the design on that one. We are going to be coming out with a Tuskegee Airman now. We are coming out with a Buffalo Soldier now. And now we're going to start doing some more contemporary looking characters that I haven't done before. That doesn't mean that I'm going to abandon the original idea of Ebony Visions. It just means I'm going to start adding some more characters from a time that people can relate to. You know, it's really a joy to be able to go out and meet the collectors and to see how much they enjoy the pieces. One time I did one on a piece called Big Sexy. That was a collector who adored me. And she just kept coming to the signings. She came up to me and said, you know, Thomas, you need to do a figurine of me. And I looked at her and I said, you know, you're probably right. And I did a figurine of her. It was one of the biggest sellers. It's a thrill to know that people love you and your work that much. So I just really thank the collectors for appreciating the work.